Okay, here's part two. Um, so they signed these executive orders. It's a big deal. What did Trump also do? During the COVID, I remember watching the conferences every day, and they talked about COVID, COVID, COVID. But there was one day they had some military guy come up, and he talked about the drug trafficking and the trafficking and how they were going to go after the trafficking. And this was kind of weird, I thought, because they're talking about COVID, and then this guy gets up there and starts talking about trafficking. And Trump had made a comment that they found somebody and they recovered someone, and it was really terrible what happened to him and all this stuff. But it was just, with our media, they don't cover anything. So unless you're following things on Twitter or social media, you never know about this stuff. Okay. So the significance of this border wall that Trump's building was to shut off this supply of drugs, human trafficking that they use to get money for their deep state, and um, to cut the cartels off. But the most important part of it is it shuts down the supply of money and drugs that's used to fund the deep state. That's how they get their funding to build these underground cities and these underground areas. Um, okay, so again, the deep state is using these underground bases for technology, adrenochrome, experimentation. They're using them as spaceports to move in and out of this system. They're selling and trafficking humans to other systems. Um, Elena talks about this draconian empire and all this stuff. And there's multiple layers. There's different races from different planets, but they're all, parasitic. Um, so yeah, that pretty much covers what I wanted to say. The things we've seen with Epstein Island, they were doing rituals there. They were doing satanic ritual abuse. Um, these are the high level politicians, the high level. They're consuming adrenochrome also. So um, what I wanted to say though, I know it's been a dark video, dark so far, right? So what I wanted to say was they rule on the low levels, okay? The lower levels, they rule. And again, I'll say this again, I've said it a million times, but Chargy had a saying that the lowest of the high is still higher than the highest of the low. These people have attained the highest of the low. The highest of the low is the adrenochrome. That's the highest thing they can produce, okay? I believe that adrenochrome is that's their elixir. That's their enlightenment elixir. And that supply got cut off by President Trump. That's why they hate him so much, because he cut off their food supply, not just the money. It's the supply of food. Their food and their adrenochrome were cut off, and now what we're seeing the money get cut off, the Wall Street money, the easy money. Now, I don't believe that, like I said, there's levels to this, and these Wall Street bankers and all these people, yeah, they're on the dark side, but I don't believe that they necessarily are, Satanists. I think that they just get caught up in the power and the greed and that part of it. But I don't, not every single one of these people is, worshiping Satan and stuff. But there's a lot of that involved in it, and you can learn all about all that stuff. I mean, there's so much information. Um, Kathy O'Brien talks about a lot of, the human trafficking and the mind control stuff. That's her big thing. So the point I was going to make is consciousness is something that is, when we're directly connected to God, when we're directly connected to Source, the byproduct of that is consciousness. I was meditating today, and I had the thought of what is this thought of light in my heart, and the light of the divine in my heart. And so I really asked God, what is it? What is this? And what came to me was consciousness. It's so simple that you miss it. It's actually the simplest thing. And I experienced it in TM. You experience it uh, early in your meditation. This expanded state of consciousness. It's not flashy. It's really kind of mundane and boring. But this state of consciousness is it's the upholder of everything, and it balances everything, and it holds everything. It's the light behind everything, and this is what these elites don't have. They don't have connection to that. So taking them out, physically taking them out, is what's necessary. We have to go in. We have to physically remove their source of their consciousness, which is the adrenochrome, which comes from tortured human beings. Okay, it's just terrible, despicable, but that is the truth. And um, anyway, interesting stuff. I hope you guys have a good day.